Many people wonder why we practice what we call forest management. They kind of wonder, well, why don't we just let Mother Nature do what she wants? And there's good reasons for us to actually manage forests. Some of those reasons relate to some of the things we take from the forest. We recognize that wood, in terms of a material that we use, has many advantages over other materials in terms of being renewable, sustainable, biodegradable, and recyclable. And in fact, it takes much less energy to produce the wood that goes into a house as compared to steel or aluminum or concrete. And so it's a very green material for building. And so oftentimes we're interested in pulling products out of the forest. In order for us to get the products that we want, it requires us to think in the future about what trees we want to grow and where, and how many trees per acre we should be growing. It's very much like gardening. You can grow a lot of really tiny carrots all together, or you can thin your carrots out and have nice big fat carrots that you can pull out of the garden later in the season. Same way with trees. We thin trees and harvest trees to make sure there's room for additional trees to grow and remain vigorous and productive. One of the other reasons we manage forests is we may have particular wildlife species that we're interested in. Some wildlife like young forest areas. And I think particularly of birds like ruffed grouse, who need very young forest areas to meet their habitat needs. And in fact, it's a bird that's in great decline in Indiana because we don't have a lot of young forests. There are other species of wildlife that use many different ages of forests and even some forest openings for feeding. And so through forest management and forest harvesting, we can actually provide the many varied habitats that are required for all our different species of wildlife. In addition, there's many tree species that regenerate only in full sunlight. And so if we were not to harvest, we would gradually see those trees dropping out of the forest environment. Some of those tree species include tulip tree, black cherry, and black walnut, some of which are very valuable for both timber and wildlife habitat. And so the management of our forests helps us realize a healthy, diverse forest environment and also obtain the products that we're interested in and use every day. So some folks are concerned that we're going to run out of forests and trees here in Indiana. And in fact, that's not a problem right now. Right now, we are growing about 3 times as much wood as is harvested and dies naturally every year. And so our forests are constantly producing more wood than we use. We're also slightly gaining in acres of forest every year through reforestation and natural forest regrowth. And so the forests in Indiana at this point in time are very healthy and sustainable in terms of wood production and also total area. Now we do have to be concerned about conversion of forest areas to other uses where the forest can't come back. But if we're careful about our planning and what areas we maintain forests in, we should be able to enjoy Indiana forests for many years to come.